got some questions. I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of things I want to talk about with this episode of Darling and Franxx, episode 18. First and foremost, it wasn't the red wedding that I was expecting. I mean, the dark side within me, when I saw the preview and I saw that it was going to be a wedding between Kokoro and Mitsuru, I expected things to get dark. I expected some Klaxosaurs to attack. I expected some people to like just come in, and they did, but it didn't do what I thought they would do. And again, that's just the dark side of me. I'm glad it went out the way that it did, but what happened this episode doesn't make things less shocking than what we got in Darling and Franxx, because these kids just can't be happy. No matter what they try to do, they just can't be happy. They're just made to be instruments of war to fight these Klaxosaurs, and that's all these adults want them to do. And Alpha is becoming the villain of the year, or he's probably going to be in that running, even if he isn't meant to be in my eyes. He's definitely going to be villain of the season, because just the things that he's doing, he's been instrumental in causing a lot of things to fall into place for the kids falling apart, falling out, and everything that's happening to him. It has all been completely to this guy, and what he did today was just straight bitch move. It was just a straight up bitch move. He don't want this system to be overturned. He don't want these kids to be happy, and he had Kokoro and Mitsuru submitted to the indoctrination, basically had their mind wiped at his wedding and wanted to have the baby and everything that went on, just so he can keep things going the way that he likes it to be. He's definitely a tool and a puppet of Dr. Franxx and whatever they have planning. Him and the Nines are 100% on board for this system that they're doing, and they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure it stays that way. And that's probably another reason why they're the elites, because, okay, I'll give them some credit. They got some hands, even though it took a couple of them to take 0-2 down. And it seems like, you know, Alpha, it seems like he probably could have took 0-2 by himself. But the fact that it took the rest of them to try to subdue 0-2, that just cements her badassery. And I absolutely love that when they came in and stormed the wedding. But getting back to it, I don't care about Alpha or his backstory. He's the most hated character for me this season, for sure. And I know there's going to be some type of reason that he is doing what he's doing. There's some type of reason what Dr. Franxx is doing all this with the Klaxosaurs and things like that. But I don't care. Once I get his backstory, I'm still going to want to see him devoured. And I'm going to absolutely celebrate if that ever happens. I'm also questioning just how arrogant and cocky these powers that be are for actually placing Mitsuru and Kokoro right back into the system after wiping their memory, after that beautiful wedding and that moment that they had. They're going to wipe their memories and put them back with everybody. And you have to wonder, the rest of the kids know what happened. The rest of the kids, if they don't know directly, they got an idea. They know that, you know, the Nines and the higher-ups came and scooped these kids up and basically said they're going to be indoctrinated so they don't remember what happened. So you have, are they not thinking about the fire back that's going to cause? Do they have so much faith in this system that they're doing that these kids are going to revolt? I mean, they're friends now. They love each other. They care about each other. They're expressing their feelings all around now. So you know that Hero wants to overthrow the system. You know that 0-2 will always be 0-2, and she's going to do what she wants. And now seeing that their friends don't even have memories of each other, they look like, what are you doing here? You're the new person. No, you're the new person. And just all of that being wiped, you know, the wedding ceremony, they still had a ring, so like, what is this doing on me? And these kids are going to revolt, and the humans are overlooking that fact. I feel like they just think that, you know, if they get out of line, we're just going to do the same to them. But we know that Kokoro and Mitsuru done the deed. We know that. We saw it at the end of the episode. So what happened to the baby? Did they miscarry it? That's a question. Like, what's going to happen with that? Or is she still pregnant? We don't know. All we know is that these creeps have been watching them the entire time, and they saw everything that these kids were doing. And once they saw that things were getting a little bit too happy for them, once they saw what they were up to, then that's when they decided to swoop in. They decided to listen to Alpha or whatever and decided to pull up this happy life that they had. As a matter of fact, it almost feels like they saw these kids were getting along a little bit too well. Like, no, no, no. We need to scoot you guys right back to this war. It's not about to be in this happiness. We're about to be any love and marriage and getting together. And the wedding was actually Hero's idea. You know, after all of this occurred and, you know, they were like, okay, we're going to get sent back to the camps now. Hero was like, well, before we go, we need to do something. How about we have a wedding? You know, the kids didn't know what that was. He explained from what he found out in the books that when two you know, people get together and they love each other and they vow to spend the rest of their lives together and they get married. This is what they do. And that also calls back to him in 02, because she even said, you know, we promised each other that we were going to get married. That's when you became my darling. And every time these two are together and we get like that change in animation where everything goes into the wide screen, it's just so beautiful every time they do that. And these feelings are going to be with these kids. And to see what happened with Mitsuru and Kokoro, you know, we're finding out that, you know, Nani and Hachi went through a similar thing. You know, they had feelings for each other possibly. And we know that Kokoro's having flashbacks. Not Kokoro, I'm sorry. We know that Nanichi is having flashbacks, you know, of wanting to have a child and stuff, just like Kokoro, and they took her and wiped her away, and it was kind of brutal. They knocked her over the head and dragged her away. We saw, you know, Hachi back in the day where he looked pretty badass with the long hair back when he was a soldier too, and he's just been so indoctrinated into the system, and he knows it's wrong, but he knows that he shouldn't fight. I mean, I was halfway expecting him to actually try to resist and try to help the kids stop these people, but at the same time, you know, he just knew that it wasn't going to do anything, so he just let this all happen. But the biggest question is, where do we go from here with Kokoro? I mean, she did have the memory of the Sakura when she saw it, so those memories are still there. It's probably going to cause her intense pain like we saw with Nanachi, but we'll just have to see where it goes. I'm really worried about what happened with the baby. Like, did they like miscarriage her when they wiped their memories, or is it still there because they don't know this went down? But at the same time, they had to, because they're watching these kids all along, which is creepy because they just watch some kids do it. But anyway, that's anime. Let's get on to the next topic. Even the powers that be are beginning to overstep each other, because we saw a conversation between them where they were saying, you know, the intentions of going to the Klaxosaur princess and approaching her was to get her to surrender. However, it looks like an assassination attempt was attempted, and she pretty much wiped you guys out. And I'm beginning to wonder more and more and more about what they're doing, what their game is, because, you know, when she wiped those guys out, she was like, these are fake humans. So it seemed like they're like robots inside of a shell. I thought that was just a mask or something. So where are the real people? What are they up to? What are their intentions? With only, what, we got, let's see, 18, 19, 20. We got, what, 6 episodes left? I don't think that we have enough time to elaborate on this world. I talked about that last week, so I won't get too much into detail in that. But these humans are up to something. I think we're going to get a really big backstory episode. I think that's the only way they can do this cleanly if they're not going to do another season, is to just give us a backstory episode about everything that's going on between the Klaxosaurs and the humans. And also, I can't forget to talk about this. It looks like Ikuno x Ichigo is so happening, and the Yuri fans finally get their wish. And once again, my boy Goro gets screwed over. Poor guy. The only thing I can hope for him right now is that he just doesn't die. And I've seen that for so many episodes that when it becomes true, I'm going to be just as shocked as everybody else. But I've been calling for a while that if anybody's going to bite the bullet, it's going to be Goro. But, you know, we're putting in this factor with Ichigo and Ikuno. Maybe now he won't die sacrificing himself for her. It might be for the better of the team. But, you know, I really don't want to dive too much into that, because we've talked week after week after week about how open these kids are with expressing their feelings and how well that's done. So that, I feel like I've talked about that a lot, but, you know, you can't gloss over it, because this was a big moment as we found out that Ikuno has been in love with Ichigo ever since, like, when they first got their names. I mean, Ichigo actually gave Ikuno her name, so that's when the love with them started. And, you know, she was talking about, you know, when I see you with guys, I get jealous because I love you, I want to be with you. And we've seen with the nines that it's not impossible to mix up how you pilot with the Franxx, but with the kids and making it seem like you need more of a sexual or emotional connection. But with the nines, it just seems like they kind of just put them together. I mean, it doesn't seem like these kids have any feelings for them at all, and each other at all. And it feels like that's probably what they want. And what we have with our main core of kids is just something that hasn't come along before, because they're definitely breaking the mold with everything that they do. And I feel like, you know, the second attempt of Ikuno and Ichigo getting together will be successful, because, you know, Ichigo didn't turn her down. She was just like, I understand exactly how you feel. You were just like me. This is how I felt looking at 02 and Hero. So I know exactly how you feel. And for her to console Ikuno after that was really good. And Ichigo, she really has turned around, because it's on record a few episodes ago, I was like, fuck this chick, I hate her. But she really has turned it around, and she's beginning to redeem herself more and more each episode. So I would give it up for that. And, you know, I'm one of the people that admit when I was wrong. I said she couldn't be redeemed, but it looked like she is on that path now. And as always, the happiness can't last as 02 is beginning to have nightmares of, you know, her past, you know, of all the statements that she's used up all this time and the impending doom of that big Klaxosaur hand that showed up and the destruction that it could cause, which will be a little bit of foreshadowing. That's beginning to haunt her a little bit as she gets happier and happier and happier. And it felt so good to actually see her in the uniform that everybody else is wearing from the plantation instead of her classic red. You know, I'm gonna miss it, and I know she's going back to it, but it was nice to see her in that, as it shows that everybody has accepted her as family too. And I absolutely love this character, and I can go just like I said about Ichigo. I can go back to the beginning of the series. I didn't see the big deal. I didn't understand why everybody thought she was best girl, and I still stick to that because at the time she didn't do anything besides look cool as hell, and she was a badass. But seeing everything that happened with her, how she's developed and how she is now happy, and just the development of 02 overall, she's earned that title now. I can't even deny that anymore. And I know I've done a complete 360 with her. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here until next week. Cannot wait to see you guys again. So be sure to let me know your thoughts and comments and theories in the comments below. I absolutely love talking to you guys about this series. If you like the video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. There's not shortage of content you indulge on this channel. And be sure to hit that bell button as well, so whenever I drop a new video, you can be the first to check it out and you don't miss it. So as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me. And I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.